as nice as they should be to me, I just go overboard being extra, extra nice to them, and that will usually soften them out. But I always bring it up that we are both on the same side, looking towards the same goal. We are both trying to get our clients to the closing table.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to The Closing Table. My name is Kevin C. McIntosh. I am your host, and joining us on this episode, we are pleased to speak with a top producing real estate professional, Miss Kathy Haines. How are you, Kathy?
I'm great, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, pulling up a chair to the closing table and being a guest. We always appreciate that with our guests. So let's get into it. Let's get started. First and foremost, Kathy, we are here to talk about real estate. This is The Closing Table. But before we even dig into that, I like to know the person that we're talking to. So in 60 seconds or less, Kathy, can you tell us who you are outside of real estate?
Okay. So I am a mother, a grandmother, a caregiver for my 91-year-old mother. Let's see. I love to dance. I love to cook. I love to travel. I love to eat. And I'm just a happy person.
There it is. There it is. I can tell just from the energy already, the smile on your face. Seem like you live in a great upbeat life and, taking care of the ones that took care of you, taking care of mom. So I definitely got to have a lot of respect for that, too. Very honorable. All right. So, Kathy, let's get into a little bit of the nitty gritty. Real estate. Your business of real estate, more specifically. I want you to describe your personal real estate business. And if you are able to, hit on a few key points. How long you've been licensed, what you consider your specialty or niche, and or any notable achievements, please.
Okay. So I've been in the business 24 years. I went through the recession of 2008 and don't ever want to go through that again. And I don't think I will in my career because things are really at an all-time high price-wise, and there's no sign of foreclosures on the horizon like there was back then. My niche has morphed over the years. I used to specialize in first-time home buyers, but now I tend to deal with the 50 plus because I'm in that category. And, most of those are seasoned buyers and sellers. They know what they want. They're not nervous. We have a good time together. So really, I have my SRES designation, which is Senior Real Estate Specialist, and I do work with a lot of the retirement communities in the area for people that have lived in their homes for 30 or 40 years, and then, they need to downsize, and they don't even know where to begin, going from 4,000 square feet to maybe 600 square feet. So I do a little show for them talking about how I downsized my mother into my home because I'm the oldest of her 10 children. And so there was a lot of stuff left in that house.
Yeah. That is very, very interesting. And that is and I'm glad that I'm talking to you, someone who focuses on that. I've had other agents who focus in on the senior community, 50 or 55 older. And it's a very niche market, a specialty market. And most of the agents who enter that market are the ones who are in that same age bracket for the most part. But it's near and dear to you because we're all, for the most part, going to have those same experiences with either ourselves or people that we love, including our parents, having to kind of downgrade from where they are or needing certain care. So, we're all going to go through it eventually, but for you to actually take that and focus on it because it's actually hitting home too, I think that's great because, you built that better bond with your customers also, your clients, I should say. So well done, first and foremost. I love to hear that. So let's talk about where you're actually doing your business now, the actual place where your market is. I want you to talk about your market, but first let's focus on it geographically. I want you to give as much detail as possible when it comes to your market for someone who may have never been there. The things that it's known for, things to do, notable landmarks, attractions, the culture, the weather. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, so if you can't tell from the accent, I am in North Carolina. Some people say Texas, but it's North Carolina. And I'm right in the center of the state in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is in Guilford County, which is really my geographical area. That includes High Point, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, several other cities, but those are the three main cities. I've lived here all my life, so I know this area very well, and I'm able to help people from out of town find the best place for them based on their, where they work or where they play. And so what we're notable about is we are right in the center of the state of North Carolina. We're a long state. We have mountains on the west. We have the beach on the east. And where we are in Greensboro is about 3 hours from both places, which is ideal. One of the things that I like about our area, we're called Greensboro, and it really is green, green, green here. Most people that come here just can't believe how beautiful it is. It's a very mature city, lots of trees and bushes and landscaping. And one of the things notable in our downtown is a performing arts center called Tanger. And so we've got Broadway plays coming all the time. In fact, I'm going to see Aladdin tonight. I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah. And we have something in High Point, which is about 20 minutes down the road. Twice a year, it's the largest furniture market in the entire world. Twice a year we have that. And then Winston-Salem has the School of the Arts and a really, vibrant, artsy downtown, lots of cool restaurants. We have lots of cool restaurants in Greensboro and High Point too, but I just think it's the best place to live, work, and play.
Love it, love it. I've never been to Greensboro, so I don't even think I've been to North Carolina. So it's very interesting. Yeah, you definitely painted a new picture for me and other people, our audience who may have never been there. I got a few questions in that regard. So how far are you from we've had agents on here from the Triangle area. How far are you from the Triangle area of North Carolina?
About an hour and a half. So
nice.
And then another hour and a half from them is the beach.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It seems like you're in a very great location. Like you said, 3 hours from the beach, 3 hours to the mountains. So you can get a little bit of everything when it comes to that. So, okay. So let's talk about the weather and the culture a little bit. How would you describe the culture of the citizens in that area? And then talk about how's the weather seasonally, at least.
Okay. Well, we were originally a textile area. Cone Mills started here, and Wrangler Jeans started here. So we have basically been tobacco in this area and textiles. But, tobacco has taken a kind of a slide, and thank goodness, I guess. And vineyards have taken its place. So we have like 126 vineyards in North Carolina, and there's some great ones. We have 5 universities in this kind of immediate area, so that's good. A&T, UNCG, High Point University. We've got Bennett College, Guilford College. I mean, we've just got a lot of higher learning here. And so, we've got a lot of young folks. Unfortunately, the young folks like to leave and go to some more exciting towns than maybe Greensboro might be, because I think we have plenty, but remember what crowd I'm in. I'm not in the 20. Correct. They probably want Charlotte and Raleigh, which may be a little bit more exciting. But I tell everybody that Greensboro has everything Charlotte and Raleigh has except for the traffic. So I love that. And 4 seasons. We have 4 distinct seasons here, and most seasons are roller coaster seasons. Like day before yesterday, it was 83. Yesterday, it was 53, but it went down to 30. So there's a 30-degree change And of course, going through the North Carolina mountains, you have never seen colors in autumn like we have. So you need to come, Kevin. I'll take you up to the mountains and we'll go check out the trees next time the peak comes in. Okay.
That sounds fun. That sounds fun. Yeah, I would love to pay a visit right there. And that's interesting because just what the day before yesterday, contrary to what you were all experiencing, 83 degrees, it snowed here. Like the day of or the day before Halloween, it snowed here. So, I mean, but now all the snow is gone, but it's still very, very cold. So I just like to get that different picture on the weather because depending on the region of the country that you're in, you're experiencing different types of weather, you're experiencing different types of climates, and it affects how you feel about that area for the most part and whether or not you want to live there. So I thank you for highlighting that for the most part.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else. So a lot of people from New York get tired of their winters and they move all the way down to Florida, but Florida is too hot, so they may move halfway back into North Carolina, and we're called the halfback state sometimes because people move halfway back to New York. But we do have 4 distinct
That's
seasons,
hilarious.
and I think people love that.
Yeah, I get it. I'm pretty sure the winters aren't as harsh as what we experience here in the Midwest and Michigan. But nonetheless, I don't even want to experience what we experience here in Michigan. So I would take that mild weather in the wintertime and whatever you're experiencing there in North Carolina. Good. So I want to talk about what's going on economically there with real estate. Now we got into the geographics part. Let's talk about economics and your part in your market. If you have any statistical data for us regards to real estate, please express it. Maybe the average price point, sale point, the difference between list and sale price, average days on market, any information you have, please.
Okay. Well, I'm actually on the board of directors for our Triad multiple listing, and I did a video presentation the other day, so I actually have those figures right here.
Nice.
You know, just like everybody else in the United States, there's a lack of inventory. Prices soared during COVID, and we were very happy about that because we had really cheap real estate here, and people talked about it all the time from California and from New York. They'd say, your real estate is so cheap, and it was. Well, we got a big bump up, and that was so great during COVID. I mean, some good things did come out of COVID. And so now we feel like we're competing, and the prices are staying high, but there is a distinct lack of inventory. I think buyers right now are a little bit hesitant because of interest rates, but hopefully that's going to change, especially with an election year coming up. And I know across the country, the prices of average sales price are different. For us, our average sales price is $357. So pretty economical, you know, in most places. And the average days on market is 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
So we only have 1.5 months of inventory, though. So that's very low.
Seller's market.
Yeah, definitely a seller's market.
Well. So, yeah, I get that. It's the same thing we're hearing across the country. I think I may have heard one market that said they feel like they're really inching towards more of a buyer's market, but I think that's all about perspective at the end of the day. But it's still very much a seller's market all across the country. We see all markets, if not most markets, that were vastly affected by, you know, the pandemic as far as pricing, then inventory also, and interest rates definitely affecting the market. How do you feel like the change in interest rates as well as inventory changes from the beginning of the year to now, how do you feel like that has affected the dynamic and relationship between buyers and sellers?
Well, I know builders are building just as fast as they can to alleviate that low inventory situation, but you can only do so much. And when a seller puts a house on the market, a buyer takes it off the market, that's a net. So just putting more houses for sale on the market does not necessarily increase your inventory. Only new construction really increases your inventory. So we do have a lot of builders building as fast as they can. We have seen buyers a little weary of the past 3 years because we were constantly in a multiple offer situation with most great homes, and they were selling over asking price. And so, you know, if you're a first-time home buyer and you've saved your little bit of down payment, and all of a sudden you're seeing, you know, 15 offers on one property and somebody's offering $50,000 over the asking price in cash, you can
Yeah.
forget it. You're not going to be able to
Yeah.
compete. So, I'm kind of glad that that part of it's going away because I really prefer a more balanced market with
Yeah.
sellers getting their fair share and buyers not having to pay out the wazoo. So, I like a more balanced market. We're not there yet. And
Right.
in the
Right.
first time home buyers category, a great house will still have multiple offers probably and probably still sell over asking price. So, we're getting better. We're not quite there yet. Interest rates, I tell my buyers, date the rate, marry the
Marry
house.
the house
Yeah,
all day, every
and
day.
you can refinance when prices go down, but when you really look at maybe a 30-year history of interest rates, 7 or 8% is really not that bad. I mean, I've seen 13,
Mm-hmm.
and higher. So just get the house you want. In the long run, you're going to be building wealth by gaining equity, and you're not going to be throwing your money away and paying somebody else's mortgage by renting.
Correct, correct, correct. Well said. Thank you for sharing that information too, because, like I said, all our markets are different, and the way you want to approach different situations in different markets, it should be guided with a professional like yourself. So, thank you for providing that insight. I want to talk
Sure.
about your experience throughout real estate, more specifically with a scenario of you helping a client or a lead to a client to actually getting pre-approved. Some people don't even know where to begin. And instead of going directly to a lender, sometimes they go to an agent. So you have any situations where you help someone actually get pre-approved to approach you first before going to a lender?
Of course. So I have quite a few lenders that I refer to as being great lenders, very communicative. They're here in town. If I need to go over there and put my hands around their neck because they're not returning my phone calls, I can do it. So I
Yeah.
really like to use people locally. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody has their niche. Some people actually work with the lower credit score people, helping them repair their credit, giving them great advice. As some people don't even have credit. They've been scared of
Yeah.
credit cards. Maybe they had one in college. So, telling them to get a credit card, buy something for $25, pay it off immediately, and
Mm-hmm.
that's going to start building your credit. So,
Mm-hmm.
depending on who the client is, I have a whole slew of lenders that I can refer them to.
Nice, nice. So from what you're saying, from what you said, do you have all local lenders? You prefer the local lenders? And I'm assuming you don't prefer them just so that you can put your hands around their neck. I would assume I know why, but can you explain to why you actually like local lenders?
Well, I've dealt with out of town lenders, and I'm sure they're all fine people, but I don't think they're as wholly vested in all of our happiness because they're distant. We never
Mm,
meet. A lot of times the only way that I know what they look like is from their signature line on their email. I really like people that I'm seeing out in the community that maybe I'm volunteering with, that I know, and their family and all that. So I just really like keeping my lenders local.
yes, yes, absolutely. On top of the fact that, if they're already in the community, like you said, if you're seeing the people, they already know people in the community. They may live down the street, around the block, just across town from someone who's going to reach out to them and ask them for some type of assistance within that same community. So that holds a lot of value, and having those great relationships makes the process go a little bit more smoother too. So,
Absolutely, it
yeah,
does.
well said right there. How about dealing with a difficult or demanding client in your 24 years? You've ever dealt with what you would consider one of your most demanding or difficult clients, and talk about how you navigated through that process so that everybody was happy.
Well, demanding and difficult, maybe everybody is demanding and difficult because it's the largest purchase that they're going to make in their life. And you
Correct.
know what? I feel like I'm part real estate agent, part therapist. A lot of times when they're, being demanding and difficult, it's probably because something else is going on in their life and they're taking it out on their real estate agent. So,
Mm-hmm.
I have empathy where that is concerned. Probably the most difficult situation, and it was kind of a sad situation too. One of my clients' wife died, and they had been like BFFs forever. And after she died, he was kind of very sad, sad, sad. So I was referred to him. I went and talked to him about, selling his home. He said that he wanted to leave the house as soon as possible because the memories of her were everywhere. And they had a lot of memories in the house, if you know what I mean. So, I was going to gather some ideas up for him to donate items and to clear out his house because he was moving in with his son in another state. And I just got a phone call in the middle of the night, and he said, Kathy, I can't take it anymore. I'm getting in my car, and I'm driving to my son's. You have the lockbox and the key. I will pay whatever I need to pay, but you're going to have to clean my house out. And I'm like, what? So, you know what? I called several people I know that are heavily involved in their churches, and I said, I have got a house full of great stuff. You need to bring your people over, and it's all free. You just need to take it away. And so one Saturday, I sat there for about 6 hours. People came and got furniture, kitchen goods, gardening tools, everything. And of course, it didn't cost him anything. I did charge him for the cleaning fee, but it didn't cost him anything. And I got the sweetest letter from him like 3 or 4 months later thanking me because it was just a horrible time in his life. And, he couldn't take it anymore. So I love it when I can help people with their emotional and also their financial.
Oh yeah. No, I like how you preface that. It could, anytime you're dealing with a big investment like this, big purchase or situation like this, it's automatically going to drive emotion, which is going to, if you want to say difficult or demanding client, it could be that, which a lot of agents, I from my understanding, they understand that. They, it's nothing that hinders them or makes them feel a certain type of way. They understand that with the situation. But the way you handled that situation, I got to give it to you. As you're just talking about the story, I'm starting to feel bad. Like I'm crying on the inside because I couldn't imagine going through that situation and you being the person that, that help them, move forward in their life. Like, you are a big part of that. So I understand them reaching back out and writing you a letter like that. Nobody even writes letters anymore. So that's even more special and personal. So
it meant
great
a
job.
lot. It did.
Yeah, great job. I want to talk about you having an intense disagreement possibly with an opposing client's agent across the closing table. Any situation you've been in where maybe you and the other agent just weren't, seeing eye to eye, bumping heads, but then maybe it ironed itself out in the end? Maybe it didn't. Any situations you want to talk about?
Well, obviously there's lots of personalities in every industry, and real estate is certainly one of them as well. I believe in kill them with kindness. So when someone is not as nice as they should be to me, I just go overboard being extra, extra nice to them, and that will usually soften them out. But I always bring it up that we are both on the same side, looking towards the same goal. We are both trying to get our clients to the closing table. And you know what? Maybe sometimes they forget that. They think we're on opposing sides, and so we need to fight. But really and truly, we have the same goal. We just want to get happy clients to the closing table. So those are the things that I do when I'm dealing with people that maybe, sometimes I say, did they have a fight with their husband or their wife that morning and now they're taking it out on me? That part therapist thing, it does come in handy sometimes because I just try to sympathize and empathize with whoever I'm dealing with, whether it's a client or another agent, and I try to meet them where they are.
Yeah, I'll meet them where. That was a great landing right there. I love to say that. Show me where you are, and if that's where you want to be, then I'll meet you there. I mean, metaphorically speaking, I don't want to drive anywhere. But other than that, I 100% get that. I don't want to force your hand to do anything else. But kill them with kindness. I like that. That could annoy a lot of people. That could very well annoy a lot of people when you're just responding with straight kindness. It's crazy how that works sometimes, but it's always the best thing to do, if you ask me personally also.
The golden rule. The golden rule.
Thank you. Treat others how you want to be treated. Thank you, Kathy. I love that. With your deep connections to the Triad community, Triad area, I want to talk about maybe you experiencing or being having the pleasure of listing a property that was what you would consider a hidden gem, or something that was particularly unique in the property in that area? And can you talk about what made it special?
Well, I'm going to use my own house because when I decided that my mother needed to move in with me, I love my mother and my mother loves me, but you know how daughters and mothers are sometimes. Boom, boom, boom.
Uh-oh.
So we needed to find just the right house where we could live under the same roof and not kill each other.
Yeah.
So, so we were looking, and what I liked, she didn't like. What she liked, I didn't like. And then I found a house that even though she didn't care for, I really thought, you know, once it's done, she'll change her mind. And the reason I loved it is because it had a great floor plan for me, and then it had a hallway at the back of the house that led to a beautiful apartment for her. So she could shut the doors at night and leave me alone. I could shut the doors at night and leave her alone. And we had our own separate identities and living space. And that worked out really well in the beginning. The reason she didn't like it, it might as well have been a foreclosure because the people that lived in it had not updated it since 1960. They were heavy smokers. There was
Oh.
nicotine dripping down the walls. They weren't here anymore. They were deceased. But and yeah, rightly so, I guess, when you saw all this nicotine, I had to have all the electrical outlets and switches redone because they were gummed up with nicotine. And,
What?
and so it was a super stinky, smelly house. She could not see the vision that I had for it, but it's a mid-century modern, which is one of my favorite styles. And now everybody that comes over here loves my house. I love my house. Mom loves her house too.
I love that story, first and foremost. I love that. I have been to one of those houses where it looks like all they do is smoke in there, and it's like, ugh. But I mean, to each its own. To each its own. But you
Yeah.
know, I love the fact that you had that vision as a real estate agent, as just a real estate professional. Like you know the type of housing, the type of house it was. What did you say it was? A modern such and such? What did
Mid-century
you?
modern, built like in between 1940 and 1960. It's a certain style, big
Yeah.
windows, lots of
See?
light. Yeah,
You know that type of stuff, being a professional, being a house to house, knowing the different types of homes. And then you also saw the vision for what it could be, despite what it looked like at that moment. Your
right.
mom being a perfect example of the average consumer who probably don't have that. We can't see that. We're just in the house like, yo, it stinks here. I want to go. I don't want anything to do with this home. But all it takes is some fresh paint, some cleaning up the walls, and cleaning up the carpet and the floor. That'll take care of most of the smell.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
great job there. I like the fact that you said it had an apartment in the back part of the home or something like that. Two
yeah.
separate kind of like living spaces. What a concept.
It
What
was
a
perfect
concept.
for us.
Yeah. Yeah. What a concept. As someone who's delivered mobile meals for over 2 decades and volunteers in the community, you've seen the triad from a unique perspective, correct? So
Yeah.
can you share an experience where your community involvement intertwined with your real estate career, perhaps helping someone in a way that went beyond buying or selling a property?
Well, I am a big volunteer. In fact, I have cocktail napkins that say, "Stop me before I volunteer again," because I feel very blessed in my life and I feel like, you know, God has been good to me. I'm definitely going to give it back to others. Mobile Meals is just one of the things that I have done, you know, to accomplish that. And you talk about something humbling. You know, I drive a pretty nice car, I guess, because I'm a real estate agent, and I pull up in front of these houses and I'm taking in a nice meal to people who probably will not see another living soul the rest of the day except for me. And they want me to come in and they want me to talk to them, but I have other hot meals in my car that I need to take with me. And, you know, so I can't stay and talk to them, but I do as often as possible because, you know, golden rule thing. But I do lots of volunteering in the community because that is how I meet like-minded people that I think become the best customers that I ever have because, you know, we have fun, we have the same ideas about life and volunteering, and I meet a lot of my clients through my volunteer work. I can't think of any one specific situation, but But quite a few of my clients I have just met, not any through mobile meals, but I'm involved in lots of different things in the community, and and I'll continue doing that as long as I'm able.
There it is. There. I love that too. My mom had me at an early age, me and my brother, participating in different community events, volunteering our time on the Saturday, one of the only days of the week that we actually don't have to go to school. We still got to wake up early and go volunteer somewhere.
That's
I
the way
hated
it
it at the time, but I get it. I get it. You got to appreciate having that type of thing instilled in you, and practicing that, because, you give to get. It's the universe. Put out and you receive what you put out. So you put out good deeds, good vibes, and you give back to those less fortunate. It'll come back to you. And you don't do it for that purpose. You just do it because you want to help and you're able to.
Right.
And with you doing that, and then also getting, great things out of it on the other end, it's just a plus. It's just a plus. So it's good to hear another great soul like yourself out there putting in work in their community. And thank you again, Kathy, for pulling up a chair and being a guest here at the closing table. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I have something kind of funny I'll say. I had a friend for 30 years that needed a kidney. And so several people tried to be a donor but failed. I was at his and his wife's Christmas party, and I'd had a couple glasses of wine, and I told them I would go test. It was easy to say after that. And I'm sure they thought, oh yeah, Kathy's too busy. Kathy's not going to do it. But I went and tested, and I was acceptable as a donor. So I went through all of the tests without telling them that I was accepted, since they had had so many people try and fail. And then I went over there and I told them that, I asked him, I said, do you still need that kidney? And he looked at me like, huh? And I said, well, I've got one for you. So my 6-year anniversary with him is next week. I'm going out to dinner with my kidney and his wife. And now I tell brand new clients that I go and visit, I would love to give you a kidney, but I've already done that for a client, and I cannot do it again.
I give you an arm and a leg, but I can't
Arm
give you
and
a
a
kidney.
leg, yeah, sweat, but no kidney. So they're usually, you know what? I usually get that business after I say that. But I did inspire 2 other realtors in my community to become donors, one for liver, one for kidney after that. So that meant a lot to me too.
Influence.
But when you say get in touch with me, are you talking phone numbers and emails?
Whatever information you want to give out for people to reach out to you when they see this.
So my phone number is very easy to remember. And as long as it doesn't say potential spam, I will answer your call. It's 336 339 2000.
Thank you so much.
Love to answer any questions.
Absolutely. Make sure you reach out to Kathy if you're in that Greensboro, North Carolina area and you are looking for buying or selling property. Thank you again, Kathy. We appreciate you for pulling up a chair to the closing table. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, I see you. You got to this point in the video. Do us both a favor. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. Make sure you also share the content and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, please do the same. Give us a like, a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. Kathy, I'm going to leave our audience with a question before we leave, because I like to get their brains turning. So this is for you, audience. If you are choosing not to purchase a home due to the current interest rates, what interest rates will influence you to enter the market as a buyer? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.